This is Zach Simpson, by the way.
Oh, we should cut that first part out.
It wasn't recording, don't worry.
Oh. That's funny.
So Zach's a senior at UCF. I'm a
freshman.
what am I saying?
Freshman at UCF.
Alright.
We don't have to cut it out. It's just raw. This is raw.
Alright. No more cuts.
No more
We didn't even
cuts.
cut yet. He's a freshman at UCF.
Yes.
I am a high schooler at Bleep. So I want you to tell me like the biggest difference between being in high school, because did you?
I went to Bleep.
Okay, so we went to the same high school, but
we did not know each other.
I didn't know him
sadly
until recently.
So like the summer before I left.
Yeah. So tell me like the biggest difference you've noticed socially, like mentally being on your own, even just like tell me everything.
Well, for me, I was never on my own. I'm still not on my own. I call my parents all the time during walks to classes or dining hall, wherever I go. Sometimes I call my parents, and it's like I haven't left in a sense of that because they're still always, available. But the day-to-day like decisions I've always had to make are still on my own, and it was hard at first, but I realized that like it's still the same. During your high school experience, during your day, you're still making decisions for yourself, and it's the same thing. It's just they're not physically there with me. The freedom I have is way different. Overwhelming, yeah, but I've been lucky enough to grow up with a routine, so I just kind of implemented it. And with classes and stuff, it's really easy to, for me anyway, to go about it because the workload's really not that much for me. I'm not the typical student because it's very easy to pass my classes, get A's and B's, whatever, because I'm finance. So like other people, engineers have calc. I don't have that yet. So I'm kind of coasting, finding ways to better myself and keep time. I'm very social though, like very. I know too many people probably, but
that's great. Dude.
I don't know.
No such thing.
Yeah, I know. It's like I know so many people, and it's awesome. Like I can go on a walk and I'll know at least 2 people, like even just around like my little building area. And it's nice because you're not alone. Everyone's going through the same thing you are, but it's about accepting that they're there.
When my brother and sister went to college, so they went to FSU, and their first year, I remember they're telling my cousin who's going to go to college next year, and they said, everyone's just trying to make friends.
Yeah.
And I think that's so true.
Yeah.
And speaking of college, for a while it's been so iffy on me, like, is this what I want to do? And honestly, I would kind of cope, and I think there is some cope within the seniors at high school. I've experienced myself and also talking to other people, as in cope like, I am gonna stay local because I'll save money, and I'm gonna stay local because all those other kids that are going to college, they just want to party and they just want to have fun, and they're not thinking about their career and they're not thinking about their future. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but also this is not something I want to just miss out on. The financial thing, sure,
Exactly.
that's a whole separate thing, but the whole thing of like partying, everyone's going there to just party and meet people,
It's not true at all.
it's not only is it not true,
at all.
but even if it is, it's like, so what? That's them.
Exactly.
Obviously not everyone you go to college with is going to be a partying hoe.
No, yeah.
So it's like,
They're not.
and I've recently had this mindset shift mindset shift of, yo, I'm excited as hell for college, because it's definitely hard to leave this life that I've lived in this city for as long as I can remember. I say I became conscious in like 8th grade. Like I started being more self-aware and shit, but to be fair, I grew up. I don't remember living in my old house. I moved here when I was like 2. I've lived in this house since I was 2.
Right.
So I know this place like the back of my hand. It's definitely difficult to leave it behind, but also it's like my life is blooming. There's so much to look forward to, even right now.
Yeah.
There's so much to look forward to, but it's also a new chapter, because like everyone, I've made mistakes and I've hurt people and I've had history with people, and people haven't liked me and I haven't liked people. And of course, when I do go to a college, there's gonna be people from high school, but it's also like,
And also from
Bleep.
We'll cut that out.
That'll be
But
actual
you
bleep.
won't know.
But even if there are people from that school,
Yeah,
it's gonna be like 0.01%. I am a new
And
person.
I see people from bleep, and I go up to them because they went through similar things that I did. So it's that connection that you find that you want to find. And I've seen people from my classes, from the DECA class that I was in, and I was like, wow, how are you doing? Like, how is UCF treating you? And we've had great conversations. There's no high school ego involved. That's also something you realize, that the bullshit from high school just dissipates. There's always drama, but it's so much different. It's life drama rather than friendship.
That's the thing. When, you know, earlier this year, I was involved in a little bit of social drama.
Right.
And it's like frustrating that everyone knew my business.
Yeah.
Or not, obviously not everyone, but it seemed like there's just this one big mutual bubble of people that know each other, and they all know who's dating who has cheated on who has gotten with who, and it's like there's no privacy unless you really choose to make shit private.
You can't.
It's like that's
you really can't.
Like high school is a bubble in itself.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting how so many movies glorify the high school experience as well, because compared to what I hear about college, high school seems like, I mean, definitely living in high school compared to a movie is completely different.
You can make more mistakes in high school, but you also have more real immediate consequences versus college. It's different. Like you have to consciously be aware of hurting someone or doing something because they have to tell you or else you won't know. Like if I didn't like someone and they didn't like me, they just choose not to be around me. You won't know if they don't like you because you just don't see them. But if you go up to them, you have to be more conscious about how you want to be perceived because people just don't care. Mm-hmm. So if you want someone to know something, like you go up to a girl and you say, you're pretty, whatever, like I like this, what you're doing, you have to be more assertive. You have to do this in order for it to work. Because in high school, you're centered in a building, right? Mm-hmm. But UCF, there's so much around you, and we're the biggest campus, so it's.
Wait, are you?
Yeah.
In Florida?
Ever, I think.
What?
I'm pretty sure we're the biggest campus. Yeah.
Holy shit.
And we're the second largest population wise, but our campus is huge. It takes me 20 minutes to walk to my classes from my dorm. So in that 20-minute span, I see so many people. I just don't have time to talk to them. But I would, because there's so many interesting people. Mm-hmm. And you realize that all of the ego that people have just drops. People do what they want. And you'll fit in great with it. I went up to a garage, which I told you earlier, and people are just playing music. I would love to join them. Sadly, I don't have my drum set. But I would. But I wouldn't ask them to play because that's their thing. You know, you gotta, have some respect. Mm-hmm. Even if I would be better than them. Like I did see that one time back when I first started. The first week I went up to this garage band and I was like, ugh, I know I'd be better, but I didn't say that obviously, and I wanted to play, but at the same time it's their moment. You don't do that. You just don't, unless you have good intentions. You really don't have to show off. There's no need to show off if you're secure with yourself. And believe me, there are still people who are trying to show off. Mm-hmm. One of my best friends, he shows off quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And I talked to him about it. And because he's still stuck in the high school mindset, but more freedom, but still in that I need to show off in order to get girls, in order to prove my dominance.
Caring a lot about other people.
Exactly. But I've experienced that mindset shift, and I know I care about what other people think.
Of course.
But the reason is different. I don't care enough for them to like me. I don't want them to like me, just to like me. Mm-hmm. But I know, not necessarily that they will, but that I'm okay if they don't. And how could they not like me, But I don't care if they do. And the people I surround myself with are such good people that I know that if they slip up, I can talk to them about it and be like, hey, look, we're trying here. Like, I don't like something that you do. And everyone I've done that to has been receptive of it and actually changed toward me. So it's recognizing that people are trying to better themselves. And it's about who you surround yourself with, because there's too many people at UCF. Too many. In life in general, there's too many people to get stuck on a certain group.
That's the thing. That's why I say, I remember I said it was cope if you stay local to stay local. And I honestly, it's the state, it's the game. There's a game in life, and you can either not play the rules and get fucked, unfortunately, or you can play the rules and make the game yours. Learn how to play it and learn how to actually enjoy it. What I mean by this is, like, if you stay local and you don't go away to college, your social life is shit. I mean, where we live, I go out all the time because I've always been someone that likes to bike around and explore new places and go places I haven't been before. I never, almost never, obviously not almost never, but probably like 9.5 times out of 10, the people I run into are like never my age. Never. I've run into like teenagers probably like a total of 10 times in my fucking 4 or 5 years of going out.
Yeah.
And if you stay local here as an 18, 19, 20-year-old, you're not meeting people. You're not, unfortunately, like the only people you run into, unless you go out to the big city and you are trying to meet people. But even then, I've done that before. Like there's shows I go to, you don't meet friends that you actually hang out with there. Because it's like y'all are too far from each other. But going away to college, like you are going to meet a bunch of people that are your age. You know, that's why school in itself is kind of a cool concept. You're put around a bunch of people that are your age, but outside of school,
you're also forced to work with them.
Outside of school, I don't run into those people for the most part, unless I like actually made friends with them.
You have to go to places like the city's meetup spot, or else you're not going to find people.
Exactly.
Like I've been biking around recently, and I see the younger middle schoolers and elementary school kids. I don't see anybody else my age because I'm also from UCF, so I come down for, you know, a few days here and there, and it's a nice distance. But now I'm longing to go back. I find myself at peace both places, and I can find the good in both. I get to see my dog, my parents, my friends who I left behind, but I also get to go back to that constant stimulus, constant friends. I don't have to be alone if I don't want to be. You never have to be. But it's good to be, which we also talked about earlier, when you fulfill your day with so much random stuff that's probably only good. When you are alone, you just process and relax. And you get to really feel fulfilled. Maybe not big, grand purpose, but your days are good. There's no reason to, outside of stressing about the schoolwork, about relationships, about people, there's no reason to feel bad. Like you should feel grateful and stop for a moment, look up at the stars, look up at the moon, the sun, the clouds, feel the breeze. And it's just peaceful because nobody cares. Nobody walking around. I could scream at the top of my lungs, giggle weird, jump up to click my heels. I have done this to prove my point. Nobody has even looked at me. Nobody has even looked at me.
But is that a good thing?
It's kind of like, it just is.
If everyone's so in their own world, then there's no room to connect, and I don't think that's a good thing.
But that's what I said before. You have to purposefully go out of your way to connect. Unless it's through school, they're in your building, there's just small talk. But if you have a shared interest, people are going to want to. Like I was doing hacky sack after playing pickleball in just a big grass field right outside the tennis court area. And people walk by. I'm not doing it to show off, but if someone's interested in what I'm doing, I want them to come up to me. So if they do, that's even better. Like I met this guy who plays hacky sack. He's not as good as me, but he can keep up. And he was genuinely interested when I brought it out. He was like, dude, you play hacky sack? Oh my gosh. And this kid, we played together instead of pickleball, and it was so much fun. So it's about finding just naturally. But you can't not hope that you do it. You have to put yourself in situations to get what you want. You know, not forcing it, but just miracles don't happen by chance. They happen because you're in a certain spot at the right time. But if you're not in that spot, like in the grass field, going to classes, going out, meeting people, it's not going to happen. You got to put in that effort to get what you want. It's not forcing it, but it's proactively doing the things that'll get you towards something.
I totally get what you mean, because there's stuff that I do outside in places where I would run into people simply because of the fact that I want to talk to people. I never realized until recently how much connection or meeting to people or just feeling socially that I exist feels good. Like, for example, yoga, just talking about to you earlier, I could do yoga in my room,
Yeah.
but recently I've been doing it in one of the local parks, just because, again, we could meditate alone, but I think just meditating together, knowing that there's a person near you, even these strangers that are just walking by, I just feel
it's nice.
I just feel like it just feels nicer. You know,
Feels nicer.
I could record these videos.
You're also outside.
Yeah.
In nature.
Something that people always comment is like, yo, I love that background. Like, where you at, man? Like, I love that you record outside. And it's like, I could have chosen from the day one to record in my room, like every other YouTuber does. But I decided, like, no, I want to go outside because, yo, on the off chance that someone, like, runs into me and is, like, intrigued, I want to talk to them. I want to meet these people. It's also who you are. Yeah. You're an outside person. You want to explore. So to shift it to be in your room, that would just feel wrong. You know? So for me, when I filmed that first video, I was like, okay, this is just gonna be fun. But the second one, I just happened to be outside. I wouldn't care because nobody was gonna be around. It was 12:30 at night, and I was feeling down, but also uplifting because I've been working on myself, and I wanted to get this message out because I didn't want people to, if anyone happened to see it other than like people I actually told to watch my video, like you guys. If someone random saw it at UCF, I wanted them to feel like they're not alone. And it's sometimes it is hard to not see that you're not alone when you've had a bad day or a bad interaction. But also with roommates being right next to me, I can always talk to them, and I'm always open to talking about their feelings, my feelings, whatever. And if you're an open person, you can feel alone, and it's okay to feel those emotions, especially if they're strong. But it's about how you come up from it and realize that you are not alone, even if you feel it. Because you are not your emotions, you're not your thoughts, you're yourself. And it's hard sometimes to process it, but then you just got to go outside. Do something different. Small changes in what you want to do. And it's amazing to see how much progress I've made in a month and a half of going from my spring semester, from a great winter break, and continuing the flow state, but also getting better. The momentum.
And the momentum is carrying me through it. I saw a video recently, it was like, when you're uphill, when you're going up, it's so hard to stop. Because once you stop, you'll just fall back down. But once you're on the peak, instead of going down, keep going up. There's a new hill to be, traveled and taken. And there's always something to obsess over. And it's kind of cool because I realize that I'm an obsessive person. I can't get these thoughts out of my head unless I really work toward it. So I am working toward the obsessive thoughts, but they're not bad.
Like, what are you obsessed over?
Moreover, like, what am I going to do with life? Am I going to get a girlfriend soon? What is life? Like, what am I doing? Is playing sports all day long, doing my classes, whatever, these small interactions getting me anywhere? But then the meditating has been like a releasing pressure off my shoulders and being more mindful. Like this morning, I woke up, went on a walk with my dog, came back, and I ate a banana after meditating. I was giggling because I was just eating a banana randomly. I peeled it and I was like, I'm a monkey. And I ate it. And that, after meditating, you just feel so much lighter and happier, and your energy's up.
You are the prime example of someone that's vibrational state has gone up, because I've been there. I say vibrational state is very wishy-washy and doesn't have to be woo, but it can just necessarily means that small things in life are making you giddy. That's the word I love to use. Giddy. Yeah. And I used to have this in 10th grade. For some reason, because we had COVID. So we didn't go to school for months. This was the first year that school was back. I remember the first day of school, I was dapping everyone up. I was saying, yo, bro, how you been?
With the masks on?
Yeah. This is before I had any insecurity, so. Okay. Anyway, that wouldn't work now.
But it can. Segue, it can. Now back to you.
So, I remember I looked forward to school every single day because I was talking to people, I was flirting with girls, I was having so much. I was just feeling so good. My vibrational state,
you're having fun.
Everything was making me so happy. I would wake up in the morning. I've talked about this in a video before. I would wake up. I would have, I remember, 2 Eggo waffles. Wow. I'd smear peanut butter on them. I'd make a protein shake. I'd drink the protein and have the waffles. And I was always playing that one song, Come On Eileen. Like, come on Eileen. Na, 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 na. Yeah. That song. And I would I swear to God, I woke up like 5-7 minutes ago. And I'd just be dancing, eating this. My parents are asleep. It's dark outside. I'm going to go to school. And it's like, I looked forward to the day so much. My vibrational state was so high. I don't remember if I biked or if my parents, if I would make them drop me off. But my vibrational state was just so high. And that's essentially, they say in the books I've read that when you feel giddy, when you're just eating a banana, you're like, yo, I'm a monkey. And you're just laughing to yourself. I get that way too. And it feels great. And they say that is our natural state. That is our being.
I think so.
And that we get in our heads and our vibrational state is lower because actually this is something I want to make a video on. It's called flatlining. So in life, there's 3 states. There's when we're giddy and we're so happy, we're fucking giggling, we're listening to music, we're like dancing. When I go to the gym, man, I'm kind of rambling here. But when I go to the gym and I'm playing good music, or if I'm biking and playing good music, trust me, I am like,
me too.
Like, I am doing all of it, and I look goofy as hell. But yo, I am having the time of my life with this music.
Exactly.
And then so I call that like being giddy, and that's when your vibrational state is super high.
Super high.
Then there's like depressive states when shit's going wrong. You're crying, you're angry, maybe you feel lustful. All these strong, not necessarily negative charged emotions, but they sure as hell don't feel good. And you don't feel good.
The funny thing is that can happen within a minute of being giddy.
That's true.
So the reason why I started doing the mindfulness is to be present of when I'm starting to feel that, and if it's worth it or not to go dive into my negative thoughts, negative emotions, to process them, or to put them aside until later when I can process them. And I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about weed on here. I probably shouldn't, but we'll cut this out. I was feeling really, really bad one day for no reason whatsoever, having a panic attack for no reason whatsoever. And if I hadn't been practicing my mindfulness and meditating, I probably would have had a larger panic attack, and it would have became something.
It was snowballed.
And I would have probably freaked out. But when I started to, I was like able to control the huge what if life happens, future stuff, future thoughts. Who am I? What am I even doing? Is this even fun? Is this worth it? All those thoughts came into my head, but I put them down because I was like, yo, chill. You're here. You're having fun. You chose to do this. You're going to get food with your friend to eat after playing soccer. Why are you feeling this way? Not even why, but you don't need to. You're okay. And be present in the moment. Have fun. This is supposed to be fun. This isn't a stressful time. And the way, I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but it really helped.
I just got like a thought. Like, imagine God. Imagine God came, holy shit, this is kind of deep as fuck. Imagine God came down. And you're at your darkest moment. Well, that's kind of like iffy, but let's say you're just feeling down in the trenches for no apparent reason. If you felt this way for months, let's say you're depressed, and God came down, and it's kind of like, imagine you're in a dark room with God, and you just feel his presence, his lightness, and he just asks you, like you just said, why do you feel this way? This is supposed to be fun. This life thing, it's supposed to be fun. Is it not? I saw this video by this guy. Another video.
I know.
And he was filming the sunset, and he was telling himself, like, is this not what it's all about? And I'm like, yo, that's so true. Is life not all about having fun, but not like snorting cocaine, have fun,
drugs,
but
fake fun,
but like appreciating the sunset, appreciating talks with your boys, appreciating the love you can have with a romantic partner, appreciating your family, appreciating music? Is that not what life's about?
I think a state of being.
But you know, you say that, and there's people that listen and be like, oh, these kids have no idea what the real world is like.
And
just wait till you get like a real job. And it's like, okay, that might be true, but when I get a real job, I don't want to just like become someone that doesn't, I don't want my inner child to ever die. I always want to have like a little lightness with me. I always want to be, you know, singing and like pretending to play guitar, listening to music. Like, I never want that child in me to disappear, because then what is life? Is life just gonna be wake up, work, sleep?
And then you're not having good emotions throughout your day? I can't have that. I don't want to live like that. And the inner child, it's like when it comes out, I get so emotional and happy that I start to tear up. Like I did a cold plunge in my pool, and my dog was with me. He lifted his head up, a little bit of wind was blowing in his face. I got so happy I teared because I missed that. I've been away from him for a month, and the longest time, just to be in the moment, fully appreciating of this happiness, this connection I have with this animal, this thing. It made me almost cry because I'm in a more present emotional state. So they're all flowing, and all the baggage and the backups I've held off on letting it out. It's so amazing that this is life so far. And with the watching the sunset, doing all these things that are emotionally happy to do and fulfilling, it's about being able to do them with yourself, but also share it with the world. Share it with a meaningful partner and make it something special that you can grow as a individual but separate, you know? And it's amazing to me how you can go through life without a girlfriend, without a boyfriend, without a partner, without your parents, without a brother, friends. But why? Why do that? You know, it's better that way when you have someone. You don't have to force it, because I think of when I don't have a girlfriend, when I don't have a sexual partner, my friends fulfill me enough until I meet that right person. If to me right now, I'm truly missing out on the connection between a female, a girl, someone who I really am attracted to. But that's gonna come in due time. I don't have to force it because I have so much other amazing things going on in my life that it's not worth forcing. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
And it's just peaceful, and it's reassuring that there's no pressure. As soon as you can figure out a way to relieve some of that intense pressure of doing something that's not a deadline for school or your life getting on track, everything is just fun. Getting a girlfriend is fun. Why make it something that it isn't, you know?
And that's the thing. Is this whole life thing not supposed to be fun? Is trying to talk to girls and be ass at it? Is that not supposed to be part of the fun process? Right?
Going to someone getting rejected is not fun, but it's
yeah, that's fun. No,
but it's like,
you know.
it's like if you have some sense of self-worth, you're like, damn, they're missing out. Like, oh well,
you can
the next
laugh
one.
about it too.
If someone like, I walked up to someone and said, "What's up? You got a nice shirt." Because it was an Attack on Titan shirt, and I was like, "Wow, that's cool." She looked at me and goes, like, scoffs, and I was like, "All right,
seriously,
whatever." And because maybe she isn't used to people coming up to her like that or whatever, but it's stop trying to. This is another segue, but stop trying to think of what other people are thinking. Who cares? Be yourself. Let their actions speak for what they think, and if they aren't in tune with being fully truthful, that's on them.
And the good thing about being like authentic like that is you kind of dodge bullets. It's like, let's say, hypothetically, let's say you lost an arm, God forbid. We lost one of our arms, and we tried to navigate dating, and most of the girls that we talk to, they would be like, "Oh, this guy only has one arm. I don't want to be with him." Would you want to be with a girl that's only looking at your physical traits to begin with?
I don't think so.
You know, it's like when I buzzed my hair, part of me was like, "Oh, you're not going to be as, you know, attractive to women." But it's also like, would I want to be with a girl that's not going to date me because I buzzed my hair? Exactly. It's like, no. Like, my freaking wife is not going to be like, "Oh, you can't buzz your hair." Like,
you're also not going to have a wife now. You're not going to have your wife at 18 years old. Exactly. So in a sense, it's like, this is for you to find who you are, find who you want to be with, find out things you enjoy, so that when life gets hard, really hard, and you have real responsibilities, you can look back on the things that you enjoy to keep them in your life. Who you want to find as a partner will come eventually. Both of us will have partners one day that's real, and maybe marriage. Who knows? Who knows what life can bring? That's also a fun part of it. You don't know.
Right.
Some people, to me, sometimes it gets too much anxiety, but being in the present helps that a lot. So back to the point is, like, who cares? You're just living. And here I'm only 19 years old, first year of college, It's supposed to be stressful, fun, new, exciting, just new experiences that I'm dealing with outside of, I can't cry to mom and dad. I can't, physically hold them for attention. I can ask them for guidance, but I've noticed I haven't been asking them for the answer, more of talking through my issues, but mainly me just speaking and them being a wall of a projection of my own thoughts.
Open vessel.
Right. And I've grown up with learning so much about psychology because they're both psychologists. So I know so much about emotions and I've been able to process it. But I had never dropped my ego and said, you're not good at this. Work on it. Just because they are doesn't mean you are. And since I started doing that, it's been so much simpler and easy. I would never have been able to ramble like this on a camera. But now I'm just rambling and I know I can talk about it. I didn't prepare coming into this interview.
He told me to write notes. I was like, I'll write notes.
Yeah, I was like, maybe to write notes on what we want to actually talk about. But this is the most natural, forced conversation I've had. And
I forget the camera's there.
I don't, but you're also used to it. But I don't care that the camera's there. I would talk the same way.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more cursing involved, but because you're trying to be respectful of the audience, obviously. But the main message and the way I am is still there. That's another life lesson. You can still be yourself. Hold back on you're not with your boys when you're talking to a new person. You don't have to be like, oh, what the fuck is up, man? How you doing? But you'd be like, hey, how are you? What's up?
Exactly.
How's your day been so far?
Yeah.
You can be genuine, kind, respectful, but not be a pushover. You can still be assertive without being angry.
Exactly.
And it's finding who you are and the balance between it is what makes life so interesting. And it's a never-ending cycle, but it doesn't have to be hard. Just live and you'll experience new things, change every so often, and you'll adapt and grow. You're not going to evolve, but you're going to grow and experience new things and get out of your head. And it's peaceful just to look up at the sky, see the moon, see that stop sign over there. Just like things exist outside of you.
Right.
But you do have an impact. And you can choose to be who you want to be and still have that impact on people. Because you truly do not matter unless you want yourself to matter.
That's
And it's crazy to realize this.
So that's something I want to talk about. I'll mention what you just said first. So you just said that
parched.
Oh, I forgot to drink water.
I got you.
You only matter if you make yourself matter. That is a good ass quote. I am using that. Hold up. That's a new video.
And it was on the fucking spot too.
Wait.
You just push the back. You push.
Oh. Wait, what?
Yeah, push.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
What was the quote? You only matter if you make yourself matter.
That's really I can't figure this out.
Push.
I did, bro. What the hell?
Oh, you see this?
Oh, it's open. Oh.
You push it opens.
Okay.
And so, keep this in, by the way, because it shows that Reese is not perfect.
Contrary to extremely popular belief,
we're just
I
people.
am not perfect.
We're just living life, and I try to help other people, but I've realized that not many people want to grow. They want to be stuck because it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And some people aren't ready to experience meditation and breathing through their energy and pain and happiness and experiencing all of that. And when they are ready, I make it known to them that I am a resource that they can use, and because it'll benefit me and them. Because I'm not just so nice where I would be like, yeah, I'll sit by you meditating and be bored the whole time. No, I'm gonna meditate with you,
yeah.
and we're gonna grow together and grow our bond that we share, no matter who it is. Like, there's this kid who pissed me off because he was so blunt, but like mean in a way. Like I'd be sitting down doing whatever, and he would come up to me and be like, "Why are you sitting there? Talk to someone," or some random crap. And a friend of mine was on his phone. He'd be like, "When you're talking to people, get off your phone." Like, whoa, man, relax. just because it may be right in your head doesn't mean to another person that you can put your morals onto them.
There's always a kinder way to say it too.
And you don't have, just because you can be yourself and speak your truth, but not be mean.
Mhm.
And I always struggled with that, being assertive. And I told the guy off in a respectful way. I was like, hey, don't do that to me. Don't put your morals onto me. It's not. I don't want to hear what you have to say. And he stopped.
Mhm.
And it was also me exploring self insecurities, feeling unworthy of not being told what to do. And since I've been able to be myself and know that I am capable, I don't care.
Mhm.
He can do what he wants. I've told other people how to go about dealing with this person because he is a good person. He just is very blunt. And he stopped for me. And so the next time he does it to somebody else, I've told him, hey man, just tell him what you feel. Like, he'll respect that. He's a good person. They're like, yeah, maybe I'll do that. And I want to help people, but I'm not so naive as to think they will listen. People only listen to what they want to hear.
Mhm.
And if they don't want to hear what I have to say, they won't. And I'm not going to just always spout, oh, meditation. I know when it's not the right time to say it, because some people do think it's weird.
Mhm.
And not that I don't want them to think I'm weird or know my true self. It's that there's a time and place to open up.
It's simply social cues.
Exactly.
Like, I think a lot of problems can be solved if I was just like, yo, bro, have you tried meditating? But it's also like,
Mhm.
that comes off as so superior
Arrogant.
and arrogant. Like, yeah, just breathe, bro, and your problems will go away. Obviously,
They're not.
it's not that simple, you know?
The problems don't go away, but how you go about them change. And I am grateful I don't have many issues, major issues, just, life challenges, like going through about the day. What do I do?
Mhm.
How do I deal with this person? How do I deal with this assignment? My parents or whatever, like, not here, whatever going on. I know that by doing this now and finding who I am, when the bigger problems arrive, it'll be less difficult for me to process.
I think people look down on those who don't have problems. And I think the reason why, I don't know. It's probably a sense of jealousy.
Yeah.
But, like, for example, I made a video last week. It was like, oh, the world will be fine. And I even said in the video, like, I understand that there's wars going on. I didn't want to come off as ignorant.
Right.
But I believe that as long as you are truly grateful every single day for what you have, you shouldn't feel bad for having it.
You should not.
Like, we live in, we're well off. We don't have to worry.
I am very.
At least I don't have to worry about if there's gonna be food on the table, if we're gonna be
No.
homeless, if I'm gonna have a future. It's like, I know I have to,
Mhm.
and I am so incredibly grateful for my parents for that,
Yeah.
and grateful for the universe and God for giving it to me and knowing that I have a future. It's
Yeah.
like, and as long as I am grateful, I should not feel bad for
No, and it doesn't also belittle your problems by having all
that.
this.
Yeah.
It doesn't go against having issues.
Mm-hmm.
Like, somebody might struggle in life with parents being, like, divorced, not having they have to work for their food, whatever, money issues. They have their own struggles. And for me, I feel like since I have this life I have, and I'm getting better, I'm becoming who I want to be, I want to spread this.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a I'm better than you way, but since I have this, it's not necessarily my duty, but I would feel so good to spread this positive mindset, this energy I have with other people I just meet randomly. And I feel everyone is interesting and I want to know them, even if I judge them from first glance. I've been noticing I've been doing that less.
Mm-hmm.
And I have judged a lot of my life because of how I lived, who I was, how deeply, like, intuitive I am about other people's emotions.
Mm-hmm.
It's about finding a balance between letting it go and not psychoanalyzing people, but being able to and choosing not to.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was pulled into the kitchen by this random girl who I've known for a little bit, and I thought we were hitting it off very well. We had like a 3-hour conversation. She was analyzing me the whole time, talking about how she's a psych major and asking me questions, but like trying to figure me out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, yo, stop. I'm gonna be honest. The reason why you're here is because you're trusting that I'm honest, So be present in the moment with me. I'm having fun. Why don't you have fun?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't end well. Like, 2 weeks later, didn't end well. But the idea of it was to get out of your head, be who you are, stop looking into other people's minds more of what they're doing, and just have fun yourself. Because if it's not fun, leave. Unless it's for a grade or for a higher purpose. Because not everything in life is fun, but it can lead toward fun. Like a purpose in life, the journey versus the end goal. Of course you want the end goal, but you're not going to be fulfilled unless you appreciate the journey.
Yeah.
You know? And it's easier said than done. Obviously, this talk is just rambling about random crap. We never actually said anything specific, like an event we've had that we've overcame. But that's also personal, you know? So I don't have to share this with this video or with any YouTube video, because you don't have to prove yourself. By you speaking and them recepting it and receiving it and listening, it's the things we say have value. And that's cool to feel like you're worthy, you have value. And I know I do, but for a while I didn't. Throughout high school, I was him. Truly was him. The things I did outwardly, not in my head, were amazing, but my mindset was off. So it was just a switch of mindset. I'm still who I was. I haven't really done much different, except for the meditating and more physical activity, more going out of my way to talk to people. But I did the same thing, but it's just a switch of mindset of, who cares? Like, you're doing this for you, not for other people. Not to prove yourself, but to interact socially. And looking back in like a camera roll, seeing the things I did in high school, they were fun. And I had fun in the moment, but not all the time. And I hate saying I wish I did, because I don't think I'd be where I am if I didn't go through all of what I've been through. So instead of saying, I wish I did this, say, since I did this and now I know now, live now how you wish you did. And that may sound confusing, but
listening.
It's an amazing process just to feel it, not enlightened, but peaceful. And that there's no reason to stress over the things that don't matter. And the ability to stress and get through it for the things that do.
I wanted to go back to what you said about you only matter if you make yourself matter. Because I've recently, 2 parts of this segue, by the way. I've been trying to make music and songs since I was 17. And you know what's crazy saying that? That feels so long ago. It was only a year and like 2 months ago. I've been trying to make music.
Yeah.
And I've made metal songs, and not to like take a diss on metal, but I think metal is kind of easier to make. Like a good metal song compared to a good like actual song, I think is easier to make, because it's like you just down tune your guitar, chug, put some crash, and it's like it sounds heavy.
You just play heavy.
Exactly.
No matter what you do, if you're passionate about it, it'll sound good.
So I would make these metal songs, and it's like, okay, cool, I made a song, but it never felt like something. I've always said I wanted to make something that was beautiful.
Wasn't
that
your baby.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to make something
you did.
I want to make something that's beautiful, that makes people like get chilled and almost cry when they listen to it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I made that yet, but I finally finished 3 songs that like I did it.
You did.
I made lyrics for it. I made guitar, bass, drums for all of it. I did it.
Yeah.
And it's stressful because I have a show coming up on the 23rd, Coffee House, and I am singing and playing guitar at the same time. I'd say I can sing well, but I've never tried to sing and play guitar, let alone perform my own music for the first time ever in front of a whole audience. But
and I wish I could be there for it. I really do.
I wish you could be there too. But I was thinking to myself, like, it would be so easy to just give up and just be like, all right, I'm done with music. It's too much work. It's too hard. I'm done with it. But I'm like, yo, what if I'm in love with fucking Kevin Parker?
And segue, if I told you right now to give up, you wouldn't give up.
Oh, of course not.
So you don't have to listen to anybody else but yourself. So don't give up.
I'm not going to. But it's like, what if your favorite artist was like, I'm done, I can't do it. But when you have this burning desire to do it, nothing can stop you.
Nothing can stop you.
I'm literally going to mention this because this is a really inspiring story, I think. So this event is called Coffee House. 2 years ago, I went. I know you smiling already.
You told me this, and I'm happy for this.
2 years ago, I went, and I watched these kids. You know, they like, it's like a art event. So people will share their poems. People will play acoustic guitar and sing along to it. People will tell their stories and whatnot. People even have done like stand-up comedy. It's like a whole creative art show. And I went,
Wish I
and
could be there.
as much as I enjoyed it, this was when I was 16, by the way, in sophomore year of high school, I felt one prevailing emotion. Envy.
Yeah.
Pure envy. Because there were these kids, this first band, like a group of guys and one girl, and the other band was full of girls. Instead of even feeling like attraction to these cute girls that were playing guitar, it's even like I felt no admiration. Like, oh, that they're so good. I wish I could be like them. That's so amazing for them.
Were you still in the moment?
No.
Because you were so like, oh.
So envious, so like restless, like, oh my God. I had this feeling deep down. I knew for 100% fact I had never even touched a stringed instrument before. I had a little bit of piano experience, but I had never touched a guitar, never touched a bass. I had no idea how drums even worked. I didn't even know what bass was, honestly. And I felt no admiration, like, oh, they're really good. That's really good for them. All I felt was envy. And I was like, I know for a fact I deserve to be on a stage performing. I had never touched an instrument before, but I knew I deserved to be there. Deep down, I knew it and I believed it.
But I feel like that sense of insane emotion, it's good. It's not bad. That wasn't bad. Because you finally realized this major part of your life now that you wanted, you couldn't have then. So to look back, and you're not saying that was a bad experience, right?
I'm saying that envy is an emotion you can use. And I'm gonna say this at the show after we do our first song and be like, yo, I was there 2 years ago watching this kid and being like, I fucking deserve to be there.
Yeah.
I don't know how to play an instrument, but I know I deserve to be there. And that's the mindset of someone that I believe, yo, I'm gonna go far. If I stay with that mindset, I deserve to be on world touring. What's the difference? Back then I didn't touch an instrument, but I knew I deserved to be performing. Right now I'm alright.
And as soon as you
I know I deserve to actually
starting to make the music, if you went back to Coffee House again, if they had it within 2 months later, you wouldn't have felt that sense of enviness because you would have known what you were working toward. So to take a new experience and feeling so like stressful, so angry and envious about what they have and you don't, that's okay. But since you are aware of it now, in a new experience, you may not feel as deeply envious because you're like, oh, I recognize that I want this, and be in the moment now, and you'll work toward it. And if it is so passionate, you can divert that energy of to through your whole body, to feel those tingles from the mental, from the meditation, to fully be into this experience that you will have. And so each experience you go through, your mental state is what guides what you take from it. And with your Coffee House, this is going to be an amazing experience. And
I'm nervous.
You are nervous.
I'm excited.
You're nervous. No, you're nervous. You're anxious, but you are excited, and you know that you're going to do well because you've been practicing. You've been putting in the work. And just let's so happen you do mess up, right? You have Sebi with you. You have the drummer with you. So just tell them, if any of you guys mess up, just keep playing. Nobody's going to know. Really, even if they're an instrument, like even if they're a musician, they really won't know because you play it off as a simple transition note. So if you mess up, keep going. Who cares? I know you do. That's the bad way to put it. Who cares? You care. So you care enough to drop that ego of, damn it, it's not perfect. It's still good. And then the next show will be even better. Next time you play it, will be even better. When you record it if you ever produce it for real, you'll make it perfect. But for Coffee House, this is just you playing your heart out. If you mess up, you mess up.
It's just so freaking surreal because, like, I'm gonna tell this to the audience, by the way. I'm like, yo, use me. Okay, wait. There's more to it than just use me.
What?
But use me. Be envious of me. Who the hell is this kid? He can't sing. He's alright at guitar. I can do better than him. I'm gonna say, I know there are motherfuckers. I'm not gonna say motherfuckers, but I know there are people in that crowd who are absolutely a better singer than me, a better songwriter, a better guitarist. Of course there are. There are people, I've realized this. There are people that are so much dumber than me. Than you. Than probably all of you guys watching. There are so many people that are dumber, that are not as smart as you. It's the same thing.
Or smarter than you and better than you. It's just crazy.
There are so many people that are less talented than you, and they have made millions and are successful.
I don't like work toward it.
Exactly. I don't like rap at all. I look at rap and I'm like, how are these like okay, I can't say that. How are these people who are so relatively untalented? Like, sure, there are some really good rappers, but for the most part, a lot of rappers are kind of just mumble rappers talking about pussy, drugs, and whatever. I think that's kind of lame. And I'm like, how are these people who are so not intelligent so much more successful than me? It's like they just put in work, and it's like I'm gonna say that, use me, be envious of me when I was envious 2 years ago. Look where it took me, because I had Jaggin too. So after I was envious that first time in 10th grade, I did end up starting a band, and we had shows. So I had my first I actually did it moment, because we had a house party with 200 people. We made like $1,000. I had shows with people, but this is my first time playing original music, full circle back to where it all started, and it's crazy.
Yeah. And it's more about that our people are better than you, worse than you, and they've put more effort in. If you drop your ego and you listen to it for what it actually is, that somebody has put effort into this, and it's going to be maybe not your taste, but somebody likes it, and the person making it likes it. You can appreciate the beauty of it. I don't like mumble rap, but I like maybe if they have a piano background to it, or the tempo of it, or the background music. So you can appreciate what you get out of a song. What you get out of anything is based on your what you've gone through, your experience. I think it's called paradigm. I don't know what it's called, but your sense of experience through your life, who you are, what you gain out of things is based on what you've gone through. And you don't have to love every part of everything, but there's so much of the world that you don't get to experience. That's what life is about. Getting what you want out of certain things and feeling good about doing things is, in my opinion, what life is. And it's a journey. It's the process of being born, going through life, finding yourself, and just coasting through life, but purposefully acting on things you want. You cannot force great things immediately, but you can force yourself to do small steps every day, every hour, every minute, like mindfulness.
You only are gonna matter if you make yourself matter.
Somewhere. And that goes to that you only matter if you make yourself. So
that's such a good quote.
It's a good way of living, but it's more than that. It's about living and being in the present moment, not always being in your head like, how can I make this moment better? Just vibe. Just be. Not every moment's going to be the best moment of your life, because that's an oxymoron. You can't have that, or whatever the term is. You can't have the best moment of your life all the time. That's why it's the best.
Paradox.
You can have paradox. You can have good moments that lead to you having great times, but it's also appreciating the little things, appreciating your downtime, appreciate the sadness. It's hard, but appreciate what you've gone through in life to move on, to be more present in the moment without forcing it.
Something I've said when I've gone through like the worst pain, emotional pain in my life, is I was able to listen to this one song and feel a little better, because I would think about what was hurting me so bad, and I was like, the human experience, if you take a step back and you look at it, it's beautiful in the way that something that's not a physical wound can hurt so bad. And because most of the pain, because the pain that we grew up with as children was physical pain. You get a cut, you cry.
Because you didn't have the ability to process intense, other than your emotions, what you can feel.
And now we as adults, we mostly cry over emotional pain. And it's like, how is that possible that something that's all in here, because if you think about it, all of your emotional pain is in your head, can make you, can cripple you. And if you take a step back, you can see like, that's beautiful. That's the profound powerfulness of life. That life is this powerful thing that is so jam-packed with emotion. And I wanted to say this, that being present is not just about being able to work more productively and being able to like squeeze in an extra like 15 minutes of work for school or something. Mindfulness and meditation lets you experience life better. It's like, I'm sure you understand this, because I've kind of gone through this, like I've had ups and downs of mindfulness, but you're really getting into it now for the first time ever. And I just know for a fact that you are so alive. It's radiating off you. Your vibration is so high. And I just know that the way you're living life, you're like, how did I ever live that way before? And it's like,
you just don't know. So another reason to live this way is because it takes the pressure off of other people in your own mind. if you don't have to assume that they don't know about meditation, but you can safely assume that they probably don't. So to go up to them is almost harder because they're not as open to it, but it's a challenge. Even though you are, it doesn't mean that everyone else is receptive of your, whoa, this is life, you know? So it's fun to also put your will on other people and get them to do what you want to help their lives. But it's also about dropping that entirely and just letting it happen naturally, like saying, if your energy, my energy, right, can go into somebody else's field and uplift them a little bit, perfect. That's what I want. But I don't need that to happen because I know I'm enough. But when I meet the right person who makes me feel even greater than myself, I'll know how to act with it because I've been processing information, emotions, and it's been a great journey that has its ups and downs, and I'm still human. Like earlier today, I got frustrated, I got angry, I lashed out, but immediately didn't regress back to my old self and shut down. I processed it and apologized to the person I was playing basketball with because they were crushing me and I hated that. That drive to win has always been there. But for some reason, my younger brother just takes it out of me. Just because he's better at one thing than me, I have to be better. And that drive is not great. The drive itself is fine, but the reason why is not. So I realize this now, and I'm working toward using that anger angry with myself for being not as good as I want, but also I haven't played basketball that much, so it's okay to feel bad, but I'm gonna work toward it. It's like the Kobe mindset. Put in the hours, don't stress over it, but put in the hours.
There's a very famous quote. It says, "What would Jesus do?" And then the alternate version is, "What would Buddha do?" I have this version called "What would Matt do?" because I met this guy named Matt when I was like 16, 15, and he changed my life because he was just so spiritually enlightened that every time I talked to him, we could talk for 3 hours, and I was so present in the moment. Not a single thought in my mind changed my life. So when I'm going about life now, I kind of think like, what would Matt do? And it's like, let's take it like, let's do what would Jesus do? Wait, you're Jewish. What would Buddha do?
What would Jesus do?
I'm just kidding.
I've learned about Jesus a little bit. I know some things.
If Jesus was playing basketball with his younger brother, I think Jesus would like
smack the crap out of him. But
okay.
Let's just say Jesus wasn't as good.
Let's say Jesus was getting smacked the crap out of by his brother in a metaphorical sense in basketball. I think Jesus would definitely like laugh and be like, "Oh man, he just have fun." He realizes that it's like, yo, this isn't the NBA. This isn't like, I'm not basing my life or career off this. I'm just gonna enjoy this. Oh, my ankles got broken. Good for you, man. Like Jesus would definitely do that. And like, you know, obviously you're not trying to be Jesus, but it's also like, you know, life again, back to that same quote, God comes down. Is this life thing not just about having fun?
How can you have fun if you're so stuck in your head? And many people living life do not accept this mindset of, you're not in the NBA, why care? We're not saying don't care. You can care, but just know that you're not gonna be great right away. You have to put an effort into things to get good at them. And if you happen to be good at something right away, all to you. That's perfect. Enjoy that, because that is something that's cool. I know for me, I've never been great at something right away, but putting in the effort is also fulfilling it because I get good. Like, I'm very good at hacky sacking. It's a foot bag. You pop it up with your feet, your knees, your shoulders, whatever you want, your head even. I started off really bad because I'm immobile and not flexible at all. But I learned to go around that, and I've practiced for countless hours. So when I do it around people and they're praising me, which feels good, but it's not the reason why I do it, and they're praising, and I'm like, wow, this is great to get acknowledged. But I say, I didn't start out this way. I'm not natural. And when some people are great at it right to start, I'm like, wow, that's cool. I get someone who's automatically good at it. I can play with them. It's, again, dropping your ego, having some self-worth without pitying yourself or them, you know? And it's like, damn, when you realize that, who cares? Other than yourself. It doesn't matter. Life is fun. And the more you go into this mental fixation on being present. You get into this circle, and the whole point of bettering yourself is to accept your past, accept who you are now, be better. But it's also, at some point in this journey of mine, I would like to stop fixating on bettering myself and just live.
Yes.
But since I just started on this journey, I don't have to do that yet. I don't have to stop always being, mindful of putting yourself back in the present. What are you doing right now? Are you feeling the tingles?
Yeah.
Are you feeling your emotions? Because this is something new and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
So until I can fully be mindful and just be myself, and who knows if I ever am going to stop. But at some point I might, and I'm okay with that, because that's something that, if it's right for me, I know I will.
That is the thing about the self-improvement. It's like, it's great to like, kind of like, let's say your goal is the moon, and self-improvement is like the rocket ship that's going to get you there.
Yeah.
You take off with the rocket ship and you go, but if your goal is the moon, why are you going to keep adding fuel to the ship? This might be an imperfect metaphor, but it's like, I've had that exact same thought before. It's like, I'm kind of tired of like improving myself. There's only so much I can do. Why can't I just be happy right now? Like, for example, sometimes like I'll look for things that might be wrong in my life so I can feel like, oh, that's why I'm not happy. Like in 9th grade, I had like a vaping thing, or every time I wasn't happy, and I know people like this. Sebi is actually a good example. I told him this before though, so it's like, every time I was unhappy, there would always be an excuse for it. It'd be like, oh, I'm having like nicotine withdrawals. Yeah. Oh, I had a sip of coffee, so my endorphins are messed up. Oh, I didn't sleep well. Oh, I didn't eat well. There's always a reason to be like, oh, I'm not happy. Hey, but tomorrow I'll eat better and I'll sleep better, so then I'll actually feel happy. But what happens tomorrow when you do everything right and you just don't feel good? Then what? Then what excuse can you blame?
Well, there is always an excuse. It's about taking what you have right now and making the most out of it.
Exactly.
Like today, when I don't get as much sleep as I wanted, it's usually if I get 6.5 hours that or less, then I'm like, oh shit, I might get that headache. I might not be able to do anything I want today. But so it was 3:30 last night, and I was like, I need to go to sleep. I wanted to wake up early, but I'm lucky enough that I didn't have to wake up early. So I woke up around like 11 because I didn't have school, obviously. I'm home for the week, whatever. And I immediately started my day just a little later, because our day that we had going to the gym, I needed to be able to go to the gym with you. I needed this moment without having that headache. And some days I might not have that, but I made do with what I did. And I woke up with a tiny headache, but I made sure to drink a lot of water, drink food. I had Advil. I made sure that since it wasn't a big headache, I just kind of meditated on it. I allowed myself for kind of to get all this warmth, but like negative warmth from my head, try to spread it throughout my body to lessen it here, but to make it go over. And it worked. The headache was gone. And hopefully that's how my life is. It probably won't be, but that's just another example of making the most out of what you have. And for me, I've realized that when it really counts, your body is there for you. Sometimes you have to just simply let go of past trauma and accept that and be grateful and appreciate your body. Like, thank you. You're in pain because you're sore. Thank you for pushing, for this activity. Like, I've been so active every single week, every day for so long. And I was dealing with stress fractures, injuries all through my life. And so it's like, sometimes even saying the words, I am grateful for my body, that I'm not in the place I was before, and that yes, you're sore, yes, you're in pain, but you're not as bad, and thank you for putting up with the stress I put on you. Just putting it into words is putting it into perspective also, and being grateful for what I have, what I want to do. If I could play sports all day long for 12 hours, believe me, that's what I would do. But obviously you can't. I don't think anyone can, unless you're superhuman. Some people can. I'm envious of them, but I'm also like, wow, that's amazing. That's good for you. And it's like, the more I accept who I am, what my limitations are, how I can work around it, the better life becomes. And it all goes to full circle of wanting something versus having it, and working towards something and getting it, and setting your goals is not explicit goal versus I want this, but I know once I have this, there are some things I want to be able to do with it. So going to the moon, what do you want to do with the moon? You know, you want to go to the moon to see to see the Earth. You get to the moon, you look down or up, whatever, you see the Earth. That's amazing. But then you don't want to stay on the moon. Now that you have that perspective of Earth, you want to go down to Earth and live with what you just experienced. And it may not make sense, this analogy we've just created, but it's about, I guess, doing something, feeling good about it, and then being able to do other things and feeling the same way about it, even if they're not as interesting or fun or fulfilling. But you can be fulfilled. Small things throughout the day can add up.
Yeah.
Like homework, completing your homework, having one positive interaction with somebody. All those things add up to who you are that day.
Compounds.
Yeah.
My advice is, because I mean, I'm sure if I felt it, that's why I started this channel in the first place. Like, if I felt it, someone else has felt it, maybe I can help them.
Yeah.
Essentially, if I could wrap up my channel in like a sentence, I felt it, someone else has felt it, maybe I can help them. But that feeling of like, yo, at some point you just gotta let go, stop trying to improve all the time and just let go. It's not necessarily giving up on self-improvement. I am gonna pump iron for the rest of my life. That is never going to stop. I am probably going to be trying to improve my mental state and my physical body for the rest of my life. But it's like, it's not going to be the centerpiece of my life where I obsess over all the time, because at a certain point you're gonna miss the forest for the trees, and you're gonna be like 26 or
even older.
You're gonna be like, we're gonna be like 33, and if you have been on that self-improvement rocket ship forever, yo, you've surpassed the moon, but you've forgotten like
why you even started.
You've forgotten why you started. You've missed the beauty along the way, and now you're 33 and you're like, shit.
Yeah.
One day you find 10 years of gut behind you.
And who knows, maybe you won't feel this, because we're still kids. We don't know. We're not there yet. So in a sense, the more responsibilities you get, the less self-improvement and being fully aware is important. But since we started young, it all compounds to where we might not be able to fully focus on self-improvement, but since we have the capabilities to, it'll always be with us.
Yeah.
It's like riding a bike. Once you start and you get, you get able to, it's just going to come right back to you as soon as you start again. And you always have a minute, 2 minutes. That's a lie if you say you don't.
Yeah.
So it's about getting good at the skills, so when you don't have enough time to spend 20 minutes a day being fully present, you can choose when you want to process information, when you want to process those emotions, and you'll be able to think smarter, act a different certain way, the way you truly want, versus letting your emotions dictate you. And what you were saying earlier, which is, if I felt it, somebody has too. Yes, that may be true, but that diminishes all the progress kind of you've made, in a sense, because you are special. I am special. The fact that we are able to do this right now and be selfless about this is so special to me, that just acknowledging it for a second is not arrogant. This is something that I've been passionate about and I know I'm good at. And the things that you are good at, talking to people, being open about your feelings, it's a skill. Some people are born naturally with it. Some people develop it just through life. But we are good at it. Take it with what you will. Do life how you will with these skills. But I choose to acknowledge that I am good at it. And when someone says to me, like, oh, you're very attentive when we talk to each other, you're looking in my eyes. Yeah, I've practiced that because that's important to me. Being fully in the moment is important. Right. So to be acknowledged is not the purpose, but you are allowed to feel special and better and more important at certain things than other people. But another half of that, the second most important half, is recognizing that you aren't good at certain things. So the balance, that's why maybe in a life partner one day you have balance. You cannot be the same, because no two people are, but you find things that you balance with, and that's just life, trying to get along with not everybody, but people that you want to get along with and that influence your life. And you have to get along with them, and it's about finding what you do and don't like and fixing relationships, going through life and connecting with people on a level that's deep for both of you. Because if you're wanting a great connection with somebody, they're not open to it, it's not going to happen. It's just going to be forced one way. It's going to tip over. Like having a glass perfectly full, one more drop sends it over the edge. And it's about not forcing things, and you will find things, because the universe works in strange ways. And I'm not so philosophical as to say that if I believe something, it will happen. No. I believe something, and I put work toward it, and it will happen. Maybe not the way I was envisioning, but it will happen. And life will test you just because it does. And it's a way that if you are present and you can take what you want out of certain experiences, that's how you get good at life and experience the most of it.
I wanted to go back to what you said about you being grateful for your body, because I had that same feeling today, because I got a cut on my finger.
Damn.
Because I was lifting and I tried to put the dumbbell back on the rack. It was like a heavy dumbbell. My finger got stuck and it hurt really bad.
Yeah,
and looking at it, I'm kind of scared, because I'm not scared, but it's like you have that random like intrusive thought like, yo, what if this gets infected and you have to cut your finger off?
Yeah.
But I'm also like, holy shit. What, like, we don't understand. Like, we're off like a highway right now. Like, life is dangerous. Every time we go outside our house, we are risking our lives being paralyzed. We're lucky we're not, like, we are just so, and I am so grateful, but also kind of scared. It's like, we could be in a wheelchair tomorrow. Like, our parents could pass. People have heart attacks. Dogs get ran over in the streets. Like, earthquakes and hurricanes and droughts, and there's like so many things that could go wrong. And it's not necessarily something that makes me anxious, but it's also like, holy shit, while things are good, you must be grateful for them.
You have to be, or else you're gonna suck at life. Like, what's the point of not being
You're gonna
grateful?
Suffer if you're not grateful.
And I've never,
like, thank God I have this pinky, bro. Like, holy shit, what if I lost
in this conversation,
pinky?
I haven't thought of necessarily tomorrow or the bad things in life. I haven't even thought of I thought of, once we came out here, like, you're quick enough to put on the car and drive if there's some lunatic running at us. But
lock the doors.
Yeah. Oh, should have done that from the beginning. But and there's someone behind us like, hey guys, stop. But it's like I am grateful that I don't have those thoughts constantly in my head. But somebody might have those thoughts, and I am not the person who can tell them how to deal with those, because I don't have that. I don't know about you, but I've never thought of the dangers as much as, that could happen, because I'm lucky that I don't fixate over those things. I fixate over other things, and everyone has their fixations, but it's your own battles. It's your own way. So if you don't relate to exactly what we're saying, the message is still there. Everyone, I think, can take away from the message of what we are saying. And it's hard to put into words what our message is, because I've been rambling for so long, so I physically cannot put a statement of what we just said, the overarching theme of how to go about it, because I don't want to diminish what we've said, because we've said a lot of great things in this hour 12 minutes that we've been talking. Rip your stories, by the way. But it's like
worth it.
It's worth it, yeah. And I just want even myself going away from this moment to feel grateful that I can have this talk and to implement what we said in our own lives, in your own lives, in my life. I have to do this, not for you because I said it, but for me because it's my journey. If I truly wanted to stop help getting myself better, I could. But that's not what I want to do. So I'm not proving myself to the viewer, whoever's watching this, but I want you to know that I am genuinely so happy to be here and saying my thoughts to you guys. And I'm no better than you at some things, but what I said earlier is I am so confident in my ability to sense other people's emotions, be aware of what they are thinking sometimes, and be aware of what I am thinking, my every little ache and pain, feeling, emotion, whatever. I'm aware. Maybe not what it means, but of the feeling itself. So to be able to put it into words and to tell you guys what I'm going through is just an amazing experience.
I've had to say, like, the overarching theme of our talk tonight, it would be...
It's hard.
It is hard, but it's like, life is exciting. Life is beautiful.
Yeah.
And when you learn how to be present and watch your thoughts and kind of be right here, right now, and like wake up kind of with a smile on your face every day. Like I said, being giddy, listening to Come On Eileen at 7 a.m.,
Yeah.
eating peanut butter waffles and a protein shake. It's like things in life suddenly just become more exciting. Like, I was gonna say this, but I forgot. I have my private pilot exam, my check ride in 8 days.
Oh my god. I didn't know you were that far along.
Yeah. So I've been working on this since July. I've been in flight school.
Oh, wow.
So this is like the longest thing I've actually worked and put like a lot of brain power into. So
Wow.
I'm mad nervous. I'm mad excited. I believe I got it. I need to know I got it because that makes a freaking difference. Like, of course, your mindset going into a plain check ride, if you believe, shit, I'm not gonna do this, of course you're not gonna do it. But if you can force yourself to believe, yo, I got this, I've trained for this, I know the knowledge, I can do it. You even if it's obviously not gonna guarantee you're gonna make it, but I truly believe that would like improve your chances by like 50%, a lot.
Because
and that's
you've put in
all
the effort.
mindset.
It's not just helpless
Yes,
hoping. It's
exactly.
I've put in the effort and I know I can do it. Whether you do it in the moment is up to the moment, right? But you know you can. So as long as you are present in the moment, you should not mess up and not do it.
Exactly.
Things happen, obviously, but so another bit of the theme of this talk is be mindful, be aware, have fun in life, but know that nothing good will happen
if you don't
all the
put
time.
effort into
You
it as
have to
well.
put in effort and consciously be aware of what you're trying to do. Will this help me? Don't obsess. Don't not have fun because it doesn't fit your goals of maybe if you're cutting, if you're smoking, but find ways to work around what your goal is to be able to have fun. And being social is not something to be afraid of. It's something that you can work toward to be better at it, so it is easier. Because I know that you can talk to certain people a certain way, walk up to them and say, hey, how you doing? But maybe that's not how you want to approach something. So learn, drop the ego. But dropping your ego doesn't mean you drop your sense of self-worth. It just means that you have the capabilities to learn, experience, and grow. Be open to new things. So before we ramble again, I think this is a good spot to cut it off. Not because of timing wise, but just because we've gone over everything we need to say and we would just really circle.
There's one more thing I want to say.
One more thing.
So, I have my check ride coming up.
Yeah.
And again, I've been working on this for months, so it's like a really big day, and it's a really big day. I have the show, the coffee house, where I haven't been working on the music. I've been working on the music like a month, which is a short amount of time, but I've already put in probably like 12 hours to like the guitar, learning to play and sing at the same time. And I've been working on music since I was like over a year ago. So this means a lot to me. So two things, which both happen to be a day apart, are coming up. And not only have I felt so alive, where it's like I'm in school, I'm like, yo, I can't wait to go home and practice, because it's like, it feels like I'm working towards something. I can't wait to go fly. I can't wait to go study. Life is very vibrant. My life is flowering. That's what I said. My life is blooming. And time has also passed very slowly, because this is something that I've not necessarily struggled with, but I've always questioned. It's like sometimes my life since August has zipped by. I believe it's because I had a breakup, and when you have a breakup, I think that life goes by faster because you're just so focused on not wanting to feel horrible that you kind of like the days just blend into each other. I'm out of that now, and I just happen to be entering two really big events in my life, and time has felt so slow. Like February, I feel like it's gone on forever because I'm so looking forward to things. Like I'm making all these memories, I'm working every single day, and I'm never tired of it. So if you ever have like the feeling of why is time going by so fast, have something that you really obsess over but you love, and that takes time. That's not easy as like just finding it.
Be present, really enjoy every moment, because you're not going to get it back, and it's not to say to want to do over what you've done, but if you're actually aware of what you're doing, you're not going to want to do it over, because you'll do what you want anyway in the moment. And oh well, if you don't, you'll learn from it and the next moment will be good. But that's not forcing yourself to look toward the next moment. It's being present. And it's already late, and you're gonna have school tomorrow. I'm not, but it's like choosing your priorities. Like this was a priority to you. Your band performance and your flight school is more of a priority than high school to you. So you're gonna focus more on that. So maybe high school will go by, the day of high school will go by really slow or really fast because you're hyper focused on getting out of it. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but in order to feel so fulfilled with this, you might want to be more present in high school,
Yeah,
in your
I
day-to-day
know.
life.
That is something I need to work on.
And who knows, maybe you might want to work on it, but you might not. And it might be too much. Being present all the time is too much.
Yes.
I know I get drained by the end of the day.
Yeah,
And when I feel drained at the end
yeah.
in my dorm room, I mistook being tired for sadness and being alone. Alone versus lonely. I was sad and lonely in my head. But what I really was tired. I just was tired and depleted, and I didn't have an outlet to process what went on that day. And since I started meditating, I've realized that, wow, I was just tired. Give myself that time, because everyone needs that time.
Yeah.
And it's been peaceful knowing that it's okay to feel things. It's okay to struggle. You're supposed to struggle, but you're supposed to have fun. You might not have fun while struggling, but
it's part of the process.
It's part of the process.
You can't have the good without the bad. How are you going to enjoy the good without the bad?
Yeah.
How can... it's just... Especially now coming out of that breakup, it's like... Because it's actually, again, full circle coincidence moment. I was here in September, really upset with another friend, watching the stars, feeling like, how the hell am I going to go get through these next months?
And you did it.
I did it, and
however
now,
you did
and
it,
now
you did
every day is vibrant. It's like I'm back, motherfucker.
Time. It really is just time. And looking back on your past, you may think, why didn't I just do this? But accept that you didn't know. Accept that you weren't aware that you could just simply talk to this person. Stop and think for a moment. Is this truly what I want to do? Am I acting a certain way because of other people or because of me? Accept that you didn't know everything you knew now.
That's
and just
self-awareness.
live. That self-awareness doesn't have to be negative. It could be, and it doesn't have to be pity either. Just because you're looking at it and you're like, oh, okay. It doesn't have to be self-pity. It could be amusing. It could be funny. It could be a sense of sadness and then uplifting because now you're better. And it's all about being more present, but without forcing it. And I've said this before in this video, and I don't want to go rambling on in a circle, so I'm going to stop talking. But I felt really good making this video, and I don't think I have anything else to say other than rewording certain things I've said in this video that might make it easier to understand, or different experience I've had that's shown the same level of thought process. So before I keep on rambling, I am done.
We're cut. Oh, okay. I'm getting tired too. I'm acting like I stopped the recording.
We should keep this in.
It's
funny. It's like, and when we eventually pause you, we'll probably, I don't even know. I was going to say we'll probably continue talking, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm drained. I'm very drained. I could go the rest of the way home without talking to you. I probably won't, but it'd be fine with it.
We can play some music, man.
Just
honestly, it's like, naturally, when you're listening to each other, I feel like your mind naturally wanders. I notice my mind wandering.
Mine did too. But
then it's like, oh wait. And that's that meditation that's also like, oh wait, my mind's wandering. Let me come back to what this guy's saying.
And I didn't force it.
But also like,
less.
I had the thought like,
and we're still talking.
No, but this is funny. I think if I was here and I didn't speak a word, I think you could talk for like 8 hours straight. I think you could just go.
I don't know.
And that's really good.
I think you can too, though.
No, I don't know. Actually, it's come weird recently.
See, the thing is, one more thing is that you thinking of me that way, I also think that of you that way. So even if you can't, in certain situations, act like you can. Because, oh well, who cares? You know?
Yeah.
Like, you care. So if people think of you in a certain way, don't immediately put them down. Be like, no, I'm not that good. Say, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. That means a lot, because it does mean a lot to me that you just said that. And because a lot of it is accepting praise without it being... praise is just praise. Like you saying that to me, it could have been whatever the intention is. I'm taking what I want out of that. And it's just, to me, it's just praise. Rambling.
I think it's a very good thing.
To you, it could be, wow, this guy is amazing to talk this much.
Also, another thing I praise you for, you are very well spoken. I was going to tell this to you when we were at Anto's the other night.
Yeah.
I don't think you said like once this whole conversation. And that's something that a lot of people do.
I'll look back into it and see if I have.
I mean, I'm sure you said it like a few times, but some people say like like every sentence, like they'll say like, and when you hear it, you're like, yo,
It's
stop.
It's annoying.
Holy shit.
It's annoying.
But you don't go or ooh or ah or like.
It's because I've slowed down.
It's very enjoyable to listen to.
I've
and to
worked
talk
on it.
about.
But I've also, in my head, I'm thinking I cannot speak very well. But to hear this from you and to know that I can, it's reassuring that I don't have to think of, am I saying this the right way? I don't care. I don't care if I'm saying this the right way, because worst case, this isn't important. This isn't a speech I've memorized. If I mess up, oops, you say it again. I laugh at myself because it is funny. And I've had that insecurity before where, am I speaking the right way? Can people understand me? Sometimes I speak too softly, but that's just me projecting myself, being more assertive without the aggression involved. And it's cool. And I don't have to be self-aware every moment, or insecure about me being able to articulate myself. And I know that I can. And it was an issue in the past.
All right. Let's cut it before we get on another tangent.
So this was awesome. Whoever listens, thank you a lot.
If you've made it to the end of this, comment divided highway.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds cool.
It says it on that sign over there. So
You can read that far? Good thing you're driving.
If you made this my video, comment divided highway, and I'll
Highway.
literally marry you. Give me a hug, brother. You're on such a freaking path, dog. Like
We are. We both are.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going home Sunday, home to UCF, and I'm emotionally in pain because this is my brother right here.
Yes, sir.
We are so in tune with each other in the sense that we're both on the same path, different paths, but the same overarching idea, that I have to find people, like-minded people, and I'm gonna miss this, and it's going to be a struggle going back to the mundane people I've been around so far, but take what I've said. I'm going to take what I've said in this video and really work on myself without working on other people, without the need to. And good thing about this world, even with all the bad, with all the good, we have the technology to call, FaceTime, be present with each other without being physically there. And I've said this earlier that I'm a text to call away. I'm really not that busy. So we can even do these talks somehow through another person's phone or a speaker, and me talk to you and whatever. And this is going to be good because we're closer now than we've ever been.
Yeah.
And we both are on such good paths, and we can keep ourselves accountable. We don't need to, but it helps to have someone there.
Yeah.
It really does.
All right, buddy.
Peace. Good night, guys.